Hi, everybody. We are live. I am your host and founder, Pratibha Day. You are tuning in to your cup of courage, hope, and inspiration today. So, on our platform, we host stories regarding courage, hope, and inspiration. Courage is rooted in all of you, and the whole community is rooted in inspiration, and hope is what we basically see through these stories. So this time I'm introducing a little differently, just naturally, and we see what we can come up with. So today I'm here with my friend Ian, who is a new and founding coach. Right,
Yes,
Ian?
yes. New coach, which is very exciting.
So tell us about you. I know you're tuning in from Ecuador.
About me, okay. Yes, my name is Ian Lewis. I am a coach, new coach. I have one client, and I'm just
Yay.
starting like a coaching program, which is very exciting. It's free. I got it. It's like I wrote a grant or I wrote an essay and I got a grant. I live in Ecuador. It's actually been 3 years since I've been here, about a week ago. So that's very exciting. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I am half black, half white, Sicilian on my white side. When I
Mm.
did the DNA, I'm Yoruban from Nigeria on the black side. Yeah, born and raised in Philly, just like a normal jock. Played sports my whole life. That was pretty much my life. Always had a lot of friends, good community. Like to party and have fun. And when I was 21, my whole life changed, which we don't have to get into that, or we could, but that's like a pretty good overview. Is there anything else? Yeah, I think that's me in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
I actually want to talk with you about a plethora of topics. Like I said, I know we usually have conversations on our own, and some things that have come to me recently really about life. So, give me like an overview of how you feel about life now compared to when you lived in Philadelphia, lived in the States. What's that like? And what does life mean to you right now?
I actually feel amazing right now. Like I
Mm.
am probably in the best place I've ever been. Well, one reason I just got back from the Galapagos Islands with my mom, who I
Yay.
haven't seen in like a year and a half. And it just worked out perfectly. Like everything was great. That was such an amazing experience. But more on top of that, yeah, the way my life has been moving has just been in the direction that I wanted to. And like I said, I live in Ecuador. I lived on a farm for almost 2 years where I learned so much about growing food and living with the land. And that is my goal. And me and my partner, my girlfriend, are moving towards trying to have our own piece of land and just creating like our little oasis where we grow all of our food and we just live a more simple earth-based life. Um, but yeah, life here is like I can't believe how good life is treating me right now. I was dreaming about this life about 10, I guess 11 years now. Like when it first started in 2013, I got to get out of the city. I want to move to some other country on the land, and to be able to look back at like what I wanted and to be now looking, it's like, oh, like I am on this path and so many things aligned. And like I said, I was working for this amazing compost company and I was learning so much about compost and soil and growing food and everything. And unfortunately, that took like a left turn where we couldn't work anymore in that department. But when we left, it like opened up like so much for me, specifically with my coaching journey. It opened up more time for me and my girl, more time for me and myself, and also more time to really pursue this coaching career, which I always was like, I'll be a coach someday. And that day kind of came right before I left the compost job. The universe was kind of aligned with me. Where one of my friends, I was helping him with a move to Vietnam, just like talking through it because I
Mm.
lived in Thailand. And he was like, "You should be a life coach." And I was like, "Whoa!" I didn't tell him anything about any of my desires. And then Herbie, who you actually got, you
Yeah.
connected us after we talked the first time before the podcast. I don't know if I told him, but he was just like, "Yo, you'd be a great life coach. Go for it, do it." And I'm like, maybe God's telling me to do this. And then all of a sudden, like, something happens where I have to leave my job because it's just no longer a healthy environment. Do that. And now it's just like, boom, my boss, Angelo, who you know well, he gives me he shows me this coaching opportunity where it's like it's a program you can sign up and you might get it, you might not. Boom, sign up, get that. My mentor, who's also a coach, she is doing it with me, which is amazing. And then my friend on Christmas, who I hadn't talked to in like 3 years, called me out of the blue and was like, "Ian, we got to talk ASAP." And she pretty much is in a situation in her job and her life where she needed help. She's been kind of more in a corporate structure for 10 years. And she's
Mm,
like, I need some perspective from someone who's more free mind, free thinking is what she said. So I got to talk to Ian. We got to talking. She asked me some questions. I asked some questions and I was like, yo, like, how do you feel about being my first like practice coach client? Like, and I was like, of course, I was like, you don't have to pay. It's all like, just like, I want to practice and you can, I would like a testimonial. And she was
yeah.
like, oh no, of course I'm going to pay you. You're giving a service. Let's do it. So we've been doing that and we're 5 sessions deep and it's so much fun. Helping people is so much fun, especially people who, I have a good, deep relationship and people I love. So that is moving in the right direction. And yeah, now I'm back in where I live, Vilcabamba, Ecuador. My mom is here. Like I said, I haven't seen her in like a year and a half. And things are like incredibly good, which, if you look my in the past, I could be very negative. I had a lot of negative things to say about the world. And now I've just been able to shift into my own world, which is going very positive. So it's kind of crazy.
Firstly, there's so much to unpack here. Thank you for sharing. And it's not every day someone can say, hey, I live in Ecuador. I worked on a garden. I just came from the Galapagos Island. Like, I had heard of that name before, but it's not where I saw pictures or anything that I know about it. What was your favorite part of going there?
Oh my God, that's a so hard
I saw
question.
the pictures. Amazing.
My favorite part. I mean, honestly, like sentimental wise, it was probably just being with my mom.
Oh, yes.
Like to do it with her. And so another amazing part about this is, so my mom was pretty much, I wanted to come visit,
Hmm.
and she was like, okay, but if I come, we got to go to the Galapagos. Like, I've worked my whole life, I've saved up money, we'll
Wow.
go to the Galapagos. And I was like, oh, it's a little expensive, I don't know. Like, all right, if you want to go, we'll go to the Galapagos. So we planned to schedule it, to buy the tickets and everything. A week before we made the date to buy our tickets, my friend who lived here told me, "Yo, bro, I'm moving to the Galapagos," and I'm like, "No way!" I'm like, "What island?" He's like, "San Cristobal," and I'm like, "Oh, that's the island we're going to, and we're staying there the whole time." So also, like a good friend of mine who
Mhm.
was like an important part of my life here, I got to see him there. And so I got to experience like kind of what life was like the real San Cristobal, which is one of the islands. So that was always a big part. And I brought all that up because he kept saying, he's like, wow, you're here with your mother. He has this amazing Ecuador accent. I'm not going to try it. But he just kept saying, like, it's so amazing that you're here with your mom. And he said it like 9 times. And I was just like, you're right. It's so amazing. So that was probably the best part, to that my mom was there and I got to be with my friend. We played basketball together, like playing basketball in the Galapagos. Crazy. But other than like that sentimental part, just the animals.
Wow.
So Galapagos is famous for the animals are not afraid of the humans,
Mm.
and it's nuts. Like there's sea lions that just like walk right up to you. You got to move out of the way. There's birds that like land on your shoulder, like they're interested in you. The iguanas, they pay you no mind unless you get really close. There's all these crazy animals. We saw. So me and my mom were walking in this giant turtle kind of reservoir,
I saw
and
that.
we saw that we saw two giant, massive turtles having sex, and like the man turtle was like was groaning, like you'd hear the turtle groans,
Oh,
and
goodness.
it was right in the path. So we had to walk by. So like there's a video I'll post it later. After I'm walking by these two massive turtles having sex, and as I walk by, the guy like his head was like he's his long neck. His neck goes in, and then he like moved to the left. So I kind of like messed their vibe up. Like I ruined the vibe. But we had to go. Like, we had a taxi driver waiting for us. So yeah, watching turtles having sex was crazy. There's also this animal. It's like famous in the Galapagos called the blue-footed booby. And
Mm.
me and my mom and my friend Deb and her son, we hiked this amazing hike along the ocean with these crazy big rocks. And my mom's in her 70s, and she is hiking her ass off, and like just like little things, like I'm helping her, holding her hand, and just like holding hands while walking through this incredible hike. And we got to the end, and we weren't sure if we are going to see the blue-footed boobies or not, and we saw them, and we got amazing pictures, and it was like it was really special. So that was my favorite part.
This is such a funny part of Chai Together. See, this is why I love having raw conversations, because I feel there is no restriction. You can be authentically yourself. And I do think it's incredible that you had your mom there. A lot of people wish their, parent was still alive, or wish they could do something like that. And this brings me to ask, do you feel if you didn't follow your heart, like what you wanted to do, if you had listened to society, that you wouldn't feel as aligned? Or do you feel a lot of people are just afraid to do something like you're doing, and that they could have a good positive mental attitude if they just let go of the conformed nonsense that they know of? Like, what's your thought?
Ooh, that is a very deep question.
Yeah.
First, I want to say that, yeah, like sharing with you is very easy and authentic because one, you're my friend. We've been developing this friendship, but just the platform you provide is very easy for me to just be myself. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And to answer your question the best that I can, first I'll start with me. Is yeah, so I had to follow my heart because so what led me to the path, and I don't have to tell the whole stories, but I got jumped by police officers, right? So I got beat up, and I went from like a normal, I was living the trajectory, I was in college, I was doing good things, and they took everything away. They tried to put me in jail. And then so I
Ooh.
realized, so like through that experience, like it was like I even told my mom, like, when I was in deeper depression, like, I mean, I have to go do, like, I will rather go to South America, be homeless with nothing, than just get an office job and do that, because I know in my deepest heart that I can't do that. So I was really like, I just had, because of like the situation I was in, there was like, there was nothing in me, but, and it's like, there was really nothing to lose either.
Mm,
I guess the biggest hardship for me being here is being away from my friends and family. So I can't say there's nothing to lose, but
mm,
I knew that that wasn't enough to keep me where I was. I had to seek something deeper, and the more I learned, yeah. So there was like, because of what happened to me, I just I could not do it. I had to. Um, as far as other people, I think there's a lot of people who are unhappy in their lives because they followed the path, you know, whatever, childhood, school, college, debt, job, and now they're doing their job. They're not really fulfilled. They feel stuck, and they're not sure what to do. And I think a lot of people are even suppressing those feelings of,
mhm,
oh yeah, I'm all right, I'm doing good, but like each day, um, they know that like something has to change, but they're too afraid to make a change. And like I said, with me, I got the change made. I was on the same path. I was doing the same thing. I feel like my best friend Malcolm says that the best thing that ever happened to me was getting my ass beat by the police because it
mm,
forced me to look at life different. But yeah, I do think that there is a large section of people who they, because it's the comfort of the Western life. It's like, we've got, you can eat, you have your job, you got your TV, you got the basics, and you don't have to do too much to get your TV in your car. Well, these days it's getting harder and harder. But and also a big portion of it is we've all been brainwashed since children, babies, to think that the way we're living is normal. So everybody, a lot of people see this as normal, but when you take a bigger picture, it's like, we really just started living like this with the Industrial Revolution 200 years ago, maybe. So we've had this like long hundreds of thousands of years living a certain way, and then now we have 200 years living this other way, and somehow the powers that be convince people to think that this is normal. But the way that our society operates is actually far from normal. It's extremely toxic, and that we're seeing the results of an unnatural, toxic society, and what's that's reaping. And the last thing I'll say is, I think we actually need more people to be like, you know what? No, this isn't for me. I don't want to do this. I don't know what I want to do, but it's better for me to face my fears
Hmm.
and to go to something that feel like will be fulfilling and something towards my passion. It's better for me to do this than it is to be comfortable and in my job and just repress my feelings and act like I'm okay when really I'm dying inside. And if you have a kid, that's a different story. If you have a very, very strong relationship like with your family, for me, it's really my family is me and my mom is like the core.
Hmm.
So it hurts that she's not with me, and I'm trying to get her to come more. It's part of the reason why I'm here. Like, come on, especially once we start having some kids, it's like, come on, girl. But yeah, I think that's my best answer at that.
I love it. And I would love to hear more too. You stated toxic. You want to state some things that are really toxic. And I actually want to say the biggest thing I think is when people don't know any better. They only know what they know, especially if they
Hmm.
haven't been international. Angelo and I were actually speaking and we were agreeing how it should be mandatory like once a year or at some point in their life for everyone in the States to go to like a third world country and see the difference. And yeah, so what are your thoughts? The toxic, like have my thoughts, but you state yours.
Oh, from the core of it. I mean, I think a city in general is a very unnatural thing that
Mm,
was never, there was really small tribes of maybe 80, 100 people. The air we breathe is toxic because all these machines and power plants. The water is toxic. A lot of the food is sprayed with pesticides, which those chemicals came from the chemicals they use in Vietnam, like to kill people. And they took it and they just made it less powerful, so they're killing the bugs. But that stuff is in our food.
mm,
The food is toxic. The way we relate to our family and our friends is like before. If a family had a child, they had auntie, uncle, other auntie, grandma, all together. They all knew, they all raised each other. Now the mom and the dad have all the responsibility and they're just drowning and trying to survive. I mean, raise the kid plus survive. So the family structure is unnatural. Um, it's toxic. The relationship between women and men are toxic because I always say when I was in sixth grade, my ringtone was a song by Ludacris and Nate Dogg, and it went like "I got hoes in different area codes." And
yeah.
I'm 12 years old singing about getting hoes. I don't know anything what I'm talking about, but this is what's seeping into my head. So it's like if I'm hearing Ludacris disrespect women in my childhood, and I get older, of course I don't know how to treat a woman. And it's not like anybody is going like my dad was not really there in my life. My mom was working her ass off to survive. I had nobody to really teach me healthy relationships with anything. Um, and yeah, we live in a system where our values are all based off material. How much money you have, what's your car looking like? None of like that is all toxic. It's because people are like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, and then they get it, and they're like, wait, this doesn't really fulfill me, and they gotta work back of like, what is happening? It's like when in reality, relationships and connection with people you love and your environment, your friends and your family, that is like what humans crave, but we're just told to follow this other path. I could go on fucking movies like an average 4 year old in America has witnessed 300 murders on a screen by the time they turn 4. In a normal setting, kids shouldn't be watching other people get shot by Terminator to killing all these people. Like that is affecting our brains. So they're like, why is the world so violent? It's because I can put on a video game, play Grand Theft Auto, and I can kill 20 people in 10, 20 seconds. And it's like, of course that's violent. The medical system, the food system, like it's
Everything.
just it's yeah, because
It's everything.
everything because we've put somebody, I don't know, but we're part of it, a system had created to value power, control and material, and it
Mm,
just got bigger. The snowball just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now humanity's at the bottom of the hill, like just getting smacked repeatedly by these snowballs. And, yeah, we have to make a change, and I feel like the best way was through my life. So I was like,
I
fuck it.
really, I really think you are the epitome of change. Actually, when I had moved to Thailand, I moved for the same reasons because I felt like I hated US back then. I felt like it didn't feel natural. Even you're right about how the buildings are here. There's no sun coming in. I read this mental health article. It's because of the structure of the buildings. It's intentional, affects people's
Mm,
mental health. Insurance companies make money off of it. People don't research and don't have the time to research or just aren't awakened. The other day, you asked me if I see myself as a light worker. And I want to ask you, when did you come to call yourself that or realize like that you are different or there's something special about you? Because I knew I was special since I was young. Like I knew I didn't fit in or that I was different, and how I am so kind and care about homeless people and wanted to do these big things, and the rest of the world was not like me. Like they don't care about what's happening with other people and stuff. Like, so tell me.
that is a good question. I'm still struggling with the concept of me being special. I think
Yeah.
I just the path, I say the divine, the spirit kind of led me on a path, and luckily it was so strong enough that I had to follow it. But one of the first thought I had was Dolores Cannon. There's a woman named Dolores Cannon, and she's a channeler. So she would put people into hypnosis, and then she would get them to talk about their past lives,
Mm,
and which is very interesting. And a lot of what was said lined up with a lot of other things I said. But she talks about, she calls them as volunteers, and like how much do I want to say about this? Okay, so pretty much the overarching context is that right now we are in a paradigm shift. Like the
mhm,
earth move, the world, the universe is in cycles, and earth is in a cycle right now where there's like a great boost of energy that is hitting, like even animals are evolving, like humans are evolving, animals are evolving, but we're getting to the point where the unveiling is happening, where we're seeing the how corrupt and how just disgusting like the interworkings of our society are. And as we see this more and more, this is like an opportunity for us to change the way that we're living. And it starts individually. And if enough individuals can do it, we can do it society. But pretty much it's an opportunity of being like, okay, she calls it Earth School. Literally, like we're here for on Earth School. When we die, we get reincarnated. And I believe in reincarnation.
mhm,
So we are in Earth School and we do have a purpose here. And it's, can we unlock in our DNA and try our best to walk the purpose of helping change the energy of our Earth towards, and they say, the, I don't know if she says it, but someone says it, the golden age.
mm,
Where right now we're in the Bronze Age. And it's crazy. I'm talking like, I remember reading like 8 years ago people talking about these concepts, and I'm like, this sounds crazy. And then seeing it happen over the past 8 years. Like they were like, yeah, as this transition happened, it started in 2012. You're going to see the ego, you're going to see greed and hatred like you've never seen. You're going to see violence on a global scale like you've never seen. And I'm reading all this in 2014. And I'm like, oh, this sounds like, I'm terrified. But as I went deeper and deeper, as I went deeper and deeper, I realized that like, this is one lifetime and one body. And if I die in a few minutes, I'll be all right. So I'm like, I've kind of overcome my fear of death. So now maybe I'm just rambling, but yeah, it was a process of me like, I still don't feel I'm special. I still
mm.
feel like I am one cell in a body,
Wow.
but like, I guess for whatever reason the body activated me first.
Mm,
But Bob down the street can get activated tomorrow and make changes, and it's like it's possible for anybody.
mhm,
I think I like, for whatever reason, I was just chose to go down this path. And for me, it was super hard. Like, I don't want to miss the fact that for years I was depressed. For damn near 8 years, I was depressed. Like three of them deep depressed where I could say it. And probably the other five where I was like, no, I feel better. I feel better. But like deep down, I was super
mm,
depressed. I had been suicidal. I attempted suicide. It was like so, I went through a lot of hell. So that's also why it feels like, whoa, I'm in the Galapagos with my mom. Like
Yeah.
they tried to lock me up for 15 years for nothing, and now I'm here, which also kind of affirms that I am on the right. Like this is right. Like I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing is how I feel. So
Wow.
that's my best attempt at that question. I love your questions.
Thank you. It's all natural, just from the dome.
Hey, let's go. That's why I wanted this way. Like I was like, let us
That's how you
go.
wanted to come on.
Yeah. Well, that too. But
Wait, what did you say?
I said that's why I didn't want to like really like. Well, we could talk about this and this and this. I was just
No,
like, I trust you,
fuck
and
all that
we're
noise.
gonna flow.
I want to ask you. I feel, yeah. Firstly, I'm glad you're here, but I feel anyone can go and live overseas. However, they won't have those material things. I don't want to be sexist here, but I feel as a woman, I've went to Thailand and lived there, and women have different needs than men do. Do you feel it's easier? Like you being a guy, you can just go anywhere, pack a bag, and as a woman, more maintenance and things. Like what's been your experience or T's experience with that, which is your girlfriend?
Yes, it's yeah. I definitely think it's easier. That doesn't mean that it's not possible and it shouldn't be done. But
Yeah.
even like where you're from, I would never suggest, based off being in India for 1 week,
Yeah.
I would never suggest a woman just go to India willy nilly by herself.
Right.
Because when me and Tamara went to India, it was insane. Like one, like out on the street, well, especially New Delhi, which is
Mm.
crazy you're from. We could talk about that. I think there's
That's where I'm
25
from.
million.
I was born
There's,
there. Yeah.
bro, there's men everywhere. It's just
Yes.
like 85% men, 50% women. All the women who do go outside are totally wrapped up, so you can
Mhm.
only see their eyes. And like Tamar, who's a Western woman, was dressed like a normal woman dresses,
Mhm.
and like all the men were just staring at her like a piece of meat. It
Yes.
was so scary. Like I remember being to the point where it's like, oh my god, I gotta fucking Bruce Lee all these Indian people for like not trying to,
Right.
rape my girlfriend. Like it
And
was
did, and
horrifying
did
for
you know
me.
Delhi has the highest rape cases, like 2,000 a week,
A
counted for?
week. I did know that is a huge problem in India,
Yeah.
especially in the rural areas.
Delhi has Delhi, firstly, it has the highest pollution, even more than China. Okay. I read an article over the pandemic. And when it comes to rape and acid attacks, yeah, India is number one, even though acid is banned. Men and in-laws and religiously and all, like they throw acid on women, and there's organizations about that. So even if it's banned, people illegally get it for like $2 and ruin somebody's
Mm.
life and just splash acid. If you say no to like an arranged marriage, like they will do an acid attack on you just walking down the street and just for the heck of it. A lot of stories like this, but yeah, when it comes to rape, I would not even go myself to India without like a travel group. Even then, you just never know because it really is that bad. And you said the right thing about men in India. It's because they're so suppressed sexually, living in with family and not being able to be sexually active before marriage and all these rules and regulations that they sexually suppress, and that's what leads to the rapes as well. Even raping like a
Mhm.
3-year-old young child, like neighbors do that. But yeah, sexual abuse,
Oh god.
Indian people I know, they all say like their uncle or somebody in their family, like the Indian people I know, women and men, like they've all been like molested or something because it's such a desire that's being suppressed to them in society because you're not supposed to talk about those things. They're supposed to be on the hush hush and it ruins people's lives. That's really what's going on. And it's still not changed. Like if women protest and things, like it's still not changed. It's really bad. It's not somewhere I would go and live necessarily. I don't feel.
And you can feel it. Like you can feel the sexual after the second day.
Yeah.
My girlfriend only wore my clothes. Like she was just straight baggy with it because like I saw in the airport a man just like staring at her ass, and
Yeah.
I looked at him like, bro, what are you doing? And he was like, fuck, like he was like, and just kept looking,
Yeah, they
and I
just
was like,
look.
yo, they don't care.
They don't
Like
care.
it so and not not to say all about India because there's many countries like well while I live in Ecuador this is not an issue. Ecuador has its own issues right now,
Yeah.
terribly, but So to get back to the question, yes, it is easier for a woman to go by themselves, but it is still possible. Research is always suggested because the world is a big place, and there's some places like you want to go move to China. That's crazy. To me that's crazy, and especially now. And my girlfriend actually lived in China for a year.
Yeah.
But if you want to move to Thailand or a country in South America, and you mentioned the material aspect, there's a lot of people moving to Portugal. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you can still move to places that have more like freedom,
Mm-hmm.
and not freedom from top down, where the constitution and the government. It's like energetic lifestyle freedom.
Yes.
So it is possible. And also, you don't have to move out of the states. For me, I know you talk about it. For
Mm,
me, I felt like I had to move out of the states just
yeah.
because of it was just too much. I just couldn't do it, especially getting beat up by the police as a black man. I knew I had to. But
Horrible.
I think it's more right now. It's more about shifting from I'm doing this to survive that I don't like, to moving towards effort. I'm gonna grow as a human being, make small changes so I have more space in my life to try to make a big change that will bring me to happiness. Whatever that is in your own life. And another aspect that came to my mind is when I was in India, we went to an orphanage, and you see the utter sheer poverty, and you realize, and I try to remind myself this like every day, how blessed we are to just be born in the states, just to have an opportunity to be an American passport, get a job.
Let me
So it's
tell
like,
you.
yeah, yeah, we're like, there's so many people that like they're born in this little rural village in Myanmar, and there might have been ethnic cleansing, and they've been like, so many people are just born into so difficult situations. They don't have any opportunities or possibilities to make a better change. And for me, it's and I'm not gonna say I do it for them. I have thought of like me taking a step towards what I love has a ripple in the world, and that's really the best I can do. I can't I used to when I first got beat up by the police, and I was reading about the police. I was like, I gotta be Malcolm X. I gotta change the world, and little by little, I still
Yeah.
have that in me. But now I'm more like understanding. It's like, no, I have to like show up for me, myself, my loved ones,
Wow.
and what is supposed to happen is going to happen. Um, so yes, it is possible. It's not easy, but it's 1,000% worth it, at least for me.
I want to see you write your book because this is a
No,
rare experience. You don't want to write a
no, no,
little?
no, no, no. It's crazy you said it. No, I do want to write a book.
Yeah.
My mom's actually been talking about writing a book. But yeah, I think that's a little down the line.
Yeah.
First I'm
Yeah.
trying to be a coach and
Take your
help
time.
people. Yeah,
You
but
are a coach already.
yeah, I know, right? Coach Lewis. It's true. It's crazy.
It's too funny.
But yeah, I do want to write a book. I got some stories.
I just think people like us, like I was telling you the other day, it's like my challenge has been, not fitting in yet. I make this great impact, yet in this society, I'm still finding my way, in these jobs. And it's very interesting because you know what? I thought today, I said, what is, because God removed me from that job. So I'm thinking, there's a lesson I haven't learned yet. That's why I keep going through this. What is that
Mm,
thing I need to be doing? Why does that keep happening repeatedly? You know? So I have to think more into that. Like, why do I keep experiencing that kind of stuff, recently? So it's like, all right, there's some things needed to be downloaded.
mm.
So that's what's been coming to me. But this is not about me.
I mean, well, it can be because, like,
No.
Ty, I do want to. Let's make about you for at least a little bit. I do want to say
What?
this
You
is
gonna ask
four
me questions?
years. This is 4 years of
Fourth
Chai
year now.
together, right?
Yeah, this is the fourth year now, 2024. I
Yeah.
just want
How
to
does
say,
it feel?
wow.
How does it feel? How does it feel?
Oh my God. It feels like, holy shit. I've been running a community on the fourth year now, and I started it all from scratch. And I was thinking recently how much I've done from scratch, as content to my logo to everything. And how creativity flows. Like, you just have to do and take action. And sometimes we cannot remember what we're really capable of. So recently I was just reminded, and now I just started making more, posts and things, that it's already all within me, that I can't ever just stop it. So
Mm,
how it really feels is pretty damn amazing. Yeah, I feel when you pause, and it can also seem as if, well, if you start to talk to yourself in this way, like, well, what have I really done? And then I think about it, it's like, I've done something really big, maybe not to other people's eyes, right? We're looking at it from a monetary standpoint and things like that. But I accomplished right then and there what I want to try together to be, which is home for other people, because I didn't feel I had a
mm,
home and I felt alone.
wow.
And so I created something from scratch. Nobody held my hand. Nobody told me, oh, name it Chai Together. No one told me anything. I did it on my own without talking to anybody about it. So that right there says a lot, that how powerful we are as people, that you really can do anything. And I agree with you there when you said, I don't care if I have to be homeless and go and live there, because when I went to Thailand, I had no idea where I was going to live or any of those things, even though I went through agency. I never been there before. I went there alone. I don't know Thai. I only speak English and Hindi. I didn't know anything. I couldn't even communicate with the people. I got by somehow for 10 months because of my willpower and my desire to be there, and how much I enjoyed being there, that everything worked itself out and I got help and things. So I actually want to go back, because the journey started there, and with the abortion and everything, I wanted to. It's 4 years now for the abortion, and I actually want to go back, and I feel like it's going to be really healing for me, and it's going to give it a different twist. However, I have to see what's the best, safest way for me to go. But then when I think that way, that could be with fear instilled, because that person who
Mm,
hurt me is still living there. So how safe is that? They may know people, can harm me, things like that. So that's something that came up for me. Like, how can I journey back with it being safest? I'm like, you know what? I need to step it up financially and have security and be that motherfucking person for myself, whether it's through publishing my book, whether it's through whatever, that I'm untouchable. You know what I mean? That I'll be safe and I won't be alone. So it's cool you asked me questions, because people have come on here and wanted to know, questions about me and Try Together. It's like, damn, like, that video you ever seen? It's like, damn, Daniel. Like, have you seen
Damn,
that
Daniel.
video?
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel, look at the white ones. Like,
Oh no.
it's like, damn, like, I've been doing this. That was not a bad impersonation, right? That was like not bad. Like,
Good to me. Good to me. Now, I just want to say that first of all, you're an inspiration for
great.
making Chai Together, because you're really out here like making things happen,
Oh,
which is very, very inspiring, especially for the life that I'm living and where I'm at in my world is like that's what I want and need to be doing, and I'm doing it in my own way. But like so that's why our paths are converging. But yeah, Chai Together is super impressive is the word. Yes, it's super impressive,
yes.
and yeah, and I feel blessed to be a part of it in any way, and to know you. So that is dope.
I
And
am,
today I had a chai.
huh?
Today you saw I had a chai today.
You did.
It
All I
was
have is water in these in this mug.
all right. Well, I got some sort of tea that I don't know what it is, but it's delicious.
You know what? You know how I'm feeling? I'm feeling like this is just the beginning. Honestly, I feel like in
Mm,
the first over the pandemic first few years, you're like figuring it out, like you're building up the community, and then comes everything else. You understand? So truly how
mm,
I feel like this is just my beginning. I just turned 31, don't even really feel it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm hella young, and what is my responsibility in life? It's to impact other people. We're working on the startup and doing this, and it's like, no wonder why my mental health is freaking amazing. You know what I mean? Regardless
mm,
of work or not work, because I'm doing this. Like, this is my work, you know? And yes, I'm going to earn finances, like through whether I do a job or whatever I decide to do. But it's like, I have a good positive mental attitude because I'm filling my cup and I have the time to fill my cup. So if you think of it that way, and I'm not sitting in a 9 to 5 right now, you know? And there's always freelance, there's always something. And actually, what's come to me is writing, you know? Since they
Mm.
let me go from my job, I was like, it keeps coming to me, you know, writing. And I'm like, okay, how can I share my story without typing a bunch? You know, I got to figure out some apps
Oh.
and you know, and it's like all my posts, if I were to put them together, that right there is a book out of there, you know,
Mm.
like,
You already got a book.
and just in general, like, I feel like that writer me is coming up, like, is here right now.
Well, yeah, continue to make room for your
Yeah.
creativity, and yeah, keep trying to get better at all the other adulting shit we have to do. Because the better we are at that, then
Yeah.
there's more time for us to be like do what we want to do.
All right. I have, so before we go, I have one last question.
All
Otherwise,
right.
we'd be here way longer. My question is, so you still choose to bring kids into the world, and I see from
Mm,
your, I feel like I never say this, and I feel like if I didn't know you and know like where you're living and the lifestyle and what you want to, you know, implement onto your kids, that I would be like, you know, what's the point? But yeah, so I can see how your kids would be the change. You know what I mean? Not to put so much
mm,
pressure on it, but when people have children, definitely totally agree. Going back to Osho's teaching, Sadhguru's teaching, everybody, like, it is supposed to be a village. And, you know, kids are supposed to be with multiple members and multiple people in the village, like a literal village, not like how we're living in apartments here and houses here or a daycare and shit. It's not supposed to be like that. So, because the kid's supposed to take from people's personalities, not just be so conditioned to two people's personalities, which are the parents. A lot of people don't have education and are popping out kids. That's my pet peeve. Like, you know, in daycare and all this stuff, this is not normal. This is not natural. So yeah, I want to know, like, what are your dreams? You know, like, you want a family, like, what's your
wow.
dream? Or like, are you content if like you live the rest of your life out like this and your kids also learn to just garden and like be like painters or whatever like their aspirations are, but they'll be grounded like living in Ecuador. You know what I mean? Like their conditioning. What do you think? Like,
Okay, cool, cool. A great question. There's a lot in that. Lot in that. So to start with, like my mindset, like back when I was, I'd say, depressed going through it, is I always felt that I had the inclination of being like, what's the point of having kids, bringing them into this crazy ass world
right.
just so to get them all the stress? Like, what's the point? I've
That,
had that thought, but as I kind of got to the point of like, I'm gonna let God decide. Like if
mm,
I'm supposed to have kids, I will have kids. And if I'm not supposed to have kids, I will have kids. And whatever happens is what is supposed to happen. And but I always said that if I find a girlfriend who wants to have kids, I am totally 1,000% down to have kids, and I will do my best to be the best father, and I will enjoy being a father. So that was kind of my thing. And
mhm.
when I first, like when we first, me and my girlfriend, like years and years ago, first started talking about that, that is what I said to her, and she wants to have children. And so for me, it's like, let's do it. Like I'm, but of course, obviously that we had a conversation 5 years ago. I'm not just gonna do it immediately. We're trying to work to a way where we feel ready enough, which you never can feel ready. But I feel great about, like you said, there's so many people who just like have unprotected sex and there's a kid, or it feels really good to like
Mm,
have thought about it for years,
yes.
been talking about it, planning it. So I went from, oh, the world's so crazy, maybe I shouldn't have kids, to now I'm at the point where, I've been doing healing work. I've worked through a lot of
Yay.
trauma with my therapist and my mentor. I feel so much better about all the crazy things that have happened in my life. I just feel more aligned with myself. And as I've been thinking and talking to more people, and I feel like my friend put this in my head a little bit more, but it was like, now I kind of feel like I gotta have kids because
Hmm.
I know that, not that I have to, but I know that me and my girlfriend are good people who want good things for our community and for the world. and that we are going to try our best to raise some good people. And we need as many good people in our lives as we can. And like, so I'm like, yo, this is my way to like, I'm trying to like, and now like, yo, let's have a whole team. Let's have a
Oh my
basketball team,
God.
well, which isn't gonna happen. That's not gonna case. But like, I kind of evolved into like, oh, like I should have kids because I know that I can help a child
Mm-hmm.
on the right path, and we're on that direction. And I just like I've been listening to podcasts and different things. Is I'm really gonna try to my best to just teach my child, like be a container for them, but to try not to like push or force anything on them. And I really am gonna want them to like give them options and give them game and all these things. And I think I'm prepared to communicate in a healthy way. But it's crazy to think about like an 18-year-old kid because
Mm.
18 years is gonna have to pass. But I want my child to have options and to be able to explore however they see fit. And another thing that came to my mind is so my therapist was she was trying to like find the deeper sense of myself,
Mm.
and she was like, so are there any like people that you may could say like your idol that you idolize? And as soon as or you that you would like to live how they live, and as soon as she asked it, I was like Jesus and Tupac. Like those are the first like those are the ones I'm following. Those are the ones I'm,
Hot.
I'm, I'm studying.
Yeah.
Pac and like, and I'm a connection. I'm both of them. I'm obviously they're great individuals that like human
Mm-hmm.
achievements I could never get close to, but I'm trying my best. And and Tupac said that I might not change the world, but I'm inspired motherfucker who does. And like that's how I feel
Mm-hmm.
about my kids or about life in general. So yeah, that's
It's like the Williams sisters. That movie had come out where Will Smith played. You know, the Serena Williams.
Uncle Richard or King Richard. Uncle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he trained them to become who they are today. That
Right.
was the
Yeah,
whole plan.
yeah. I mean,
It's true. Some people do have kids to train them. However, there's ethical things involved. Like, they want to be prodigies, the pressure, suicide, that's all different. That's a different ball game. But as in he had a plan for his kids, you know what I mean? So that right there is good parenting.
and oh well, and that there's a fine balance between that because also my dad, he wanted me to go to the MLB, the Major League Baseball.
Mm,
So like my whole like he signed me up for American football when I was 4, and I was playing football, basketball, baseball
that's a
every
lot.
year since I was 4 years old till forever, and that was our only connect. That was only our connection. So
Mm,
it's like if that's the only relationship between you and your
mm.
children,
Yeah,
that's
no.
not healthy. Like there's so many more dynamics. So I want to help my child become excellent,
Hmm.
but in a way that they feel like fulfilled and happy, not
Hmm.
like, oh, I gotta play tennis again. Not that I don't know
Yeah,
the story of that at
right.
all. He could have been the best dad in the world, but there are, especially in our society, and I know people that like their parents are just like, you gonna go to the NBA, you gonna make some money, and I'm gonna be able to chill and go on vacation whenever I want. It's like it ain't about you, bro.
Yeah, people use kids and also even training
Yeah.
them up and everything. Yeah, parents are, and there's no degree, no certification, no training to be a parent. They make anybody a parent at any age. There's women in Guatemala, 10 years old, being raped and
Ooh,
pregnant. I
that's
saw a video
crazy.
the other day and they have no justice for them, like because the houses are so far apart. Like the neighbors just rape the young girls and there is nothing they're really doing. When they question the organization, like, what are you doing? Like, where's the law? It's a big thing going on still. So yeah, and even in India, that happens as young as 8, 10, child marriage, all these different things. But yeah, the point being that parents do condition their children to make them like little mini me's, and that right there to me isn't cool. But I think there's a balance to it, as in I don't know everything, right? Sometimes there's children who come out of as an accident, right? Out of poverty, adversity, become the next president and all these things. I feel these things are written and beyond me to say
Mhm.
what's right for someone to do and not to do, right? Like someone's child
Right.
who through rape, right? Someone's child had through rape could be the next scientist, right? So we don't know why those things happen, the way it happens and all, but it's to accept that just because I'm child free and I don't ever want kids and it's not good for my mental health, it's not what I want, like a desire out of life, like at all. But I love kids. It doesn't mean that, the next person who wants to have kids and is their desire, like they're calling on their heart, like how you're saying on your heart, right? That maybe that's part of your journey that God has written for you. Like
Yeah,
depending on what people believe, like I don't know, right? But then
right.
if you think if I were to be like, okay, no one have kids, like that's very big of me to say, if I were to say that, because then what happens? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need some kids.
Huh?
Yeah, it's over for us. I said we need some kids, or there's no more life, no more humans on
And
Earth.
then that's the question of like, do I care? No.
Mm.
Like I'm just like I would have to look more into that, because like if I didn't know I was here, would I choose to be here? No, I wouldn't even know it existed, right? And then, like, do I care about the future in this world and all? Like, really, no. Like, as in, it's gonna end. So if it ends, it ends. Like, it's
Mm.
gonna be in like I don't even know, like a millisecond. Like, we won't even know. Like, it's gone. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do, I do.
so that's a whole nother thing. But you answered it well. I like that. So thank you for coming on today. That was
No.
awesome. I'm glad you pushed me to do this live stream. Otherwise, I would have been in my own bubble. So
Well, thank you so much. And one cool thing about this, it felt like
yeah.
just a normal, regular conversation that we had. Like I
Yeah.
was talking, and it was like there's like two times I'm like, right, this is being recorded, right? Like it just felt like we're just
I love
talking.
that.
Yeah. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
This was a blast.
It was. People say it feels like home. That was my intention when I made my first video in
Mm,
2020. I said I wanted to feel like home. And when people gave me their testimonials, someone said that it felt like home. I said, wow, see, I put my intention out there, what I want to be for people. Conversations like this without rules, regulations, like life is already hard enough, in people's jobs and stuff, like, oh, fill out this form, do this, do that. And my structure was like that too, like fill out this form, sign this, write this, that, like more so structured. But this is more so authentic between you and I. And actually, I do less of this now because the people I choose to have come on is not to promote books or to promote, all these kind of things. Like, what did I really start Try Together for? It's for the conversation, so people don't feel alone, for the story.
mm.
And it's like to get back to the story, not anything else. That's it. So thank you. Virtual hugs.
Thank you. Virtual hugs. And yeah, hopefully 2024, if all goes according to plan, I'll see
I'm
you out in
coming to
Ecuador.
Ecuador. I am
Hey,
coming.
I believe you. I
We
believe
have
you.
months to go till like November. For sure.
Yeah. Oh, and another thought I had is
Yeah.
I really like I started a podcast. It's
Yeah.
called For the Homies, and I haven't done an episode in like 2 years. But there's something I love about just a podcast, but it's really just a conversation with your friends. And I feel so comfortable, and it really like, I feel as if I'm on this purpose, this journey.
Yeah.
And if it leads towards having more of a following and trying to help people in a larger sense, this is in a sense in a practice. It's like I'm practicing of
Wow.
like how to communicate in a more healthy, direct, and efficient manner. And to be able to start with my friends,
Hmm.
people who I love and trust, is such a blessing, such an honor, and I just feel comfortable. So I just appreciate you. This was fun. I'm down
You're
to
doing
do this
great.
any and all the time. And yeah, and I'll holler at you. Holler at me.
Holla. And I love the birds, listening to the birds this whole time. Like, look at the space you're in. How amazing.
Oh
Damn.
yeah, let me see if I can show. It probably gets too dark, but you might be able to see it. Let me get myself together. All right, let's see if we can do this. Nah, it's too
Yeah. The
with this
cats aren't
light.
there because it's bright.
Oh, there it is. You got a spot. There we go.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah. So how
That
lucky
needs
am
to be
I?
like a viral TikTok right there. That's amazing.
Viral TikTok. Go for it.
You know,
Let's
like,
clap it
oh
up.
my God. Yeah, I'm so hilarious.
Um,
How many cats are there for?
Here, just one.
Oh, you guys
Yeah,
have
just
one cat
the
together.
homie Primo. We got one. Yeah.
It's your cat that travels with you?
No, we met him here. We
Oh,
like an hour and a half at our old place.
aw.
Little Ecuadorian farm cat.
Thanks. Tell your mom I said hi.
I will. I will. And yeah, she's gonna watch
Thank
this, which is fun.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to anyone who watches, and yeah, have a great day.
All right, peace. Appreciate. Yeah.
Bye.